Hello, welcome back to We Are City channel, to episode 2 of our season, our final season here of FC26 Career Mode. Of course, in the last episode, we dropped the big news that ended the last season, the charges verdict. That is the big news that everyone is thinking about. In today's episode, we're going to go through all the details on how that has changed, because there's a lot of things changed as we went through the last episode. A new manager is coming in, the squad is changing, the team is changing, this series is changing, and there's a lot of things that we're going to have to do to try and fulfill what we have expected of us now. The things that we have been enforced with in terms of bans, in terms of regulations that we have to follow, and so on, and those things will all be sort of followed, all be confirmed in today's episode before then we get into the actual season itself. This episode is actually very important because when we come in with all the charges that we've been thrown at, you can see on the screen right now the charges that we have been thrown at with, we've got to follow all of these 8 very key components to our charges. The transfer ban is a pretty easy one to follow. Points deduction, penalty fine, PSR requirements, wage cap, squad limit, increased quota on contract termination. We have got to follow all of those things, and all those things will be explained and will be followed in today's episode. We'll get all those things going. It's not going to be easy. I mean, some things are easier to follow than others. I mean, a transfer ban is very easy to follow. There's nothing we need to do with that in terms of we just don't buy players. But we've got to sell a lot of players. Our squad limit's got to come down a lot. We've got penalty fines to pay and so on. Points deductions to take. Of course, that's pushed us into the Europa League for this season. So big changes at Manchester City. That contract termination, of course, is a massive one as well. And with the contract termination, we're looking for a new manager. Somebody who's going to come in and do a sort of job at Manchester City that is difficult. Somebody who's going to come in and say, listen, I'm willing to take on this side in the situation you're in, with the transfer ban, with the problems you've got. And we've picked out someone who I think can handle that adversity. And it is former Spurs man, someone that City have known pretty well from his time at Yokohama Mariners, who was a City club, CFG club, City Football Group side. It's Ange Postecoglou. So why not? We're going to go and get Big Ange to come in and try and turn things around at Manchester City. He's got the personality, hasn't he, to deal with these problems at City, with these transfer bans, with all the squad issues. Vincent Kompany's contract enforcedly terminated, cancelled by the Premier League. And Ange Postecoglou comes in to be our new coach. He's very happy to join Manchester City, and he hopes they can achieve big things together. As Ange says, he always wins things in his second season, but he's not going to have that sort of time here at City, because he's going to have to try and always win things this time in his first season at the club, because it's the only opportunity he is going to get. So that's the big change, the first change. Ange Postecoglou in charge of Manchester City. But things don't stop there, because there's big things coming for the City side. So firstly, we got to move players on. The younger players can't be in the squad because it's so small, reduced to 21. So Noah Fernandez, he's moved as Seymour moves on a 2-year loan. Noah Fernandez joins Toulouse. David Smits, he moves to Westerlo on a 2-year loan. We've got a 2-year transfer ban, that 2-year time of having that small squad. Arias moves on a 12-month loan to Telstar. Reece Beckett to Stoke City. But these are only very small transfers, because we've got some big players deciding that they are going to leave the club, and we have to move them on in terms of upping the chances. I mean, we've got offers coming in for people like Michael Noonan, and we contemplate it. But actually, Noonan being homegrown, he might have to be a first-team player this season. And we're going to be losing some of our strikers as well. So Jan Erbil, he moves to Le Havre on loan as well. So lots of loans away from the club. Matteo Palmer to Hamburg. But it's the big moves away from the club that are really going to hit us and really cause us problems this season. And that one is the first one of Rodri. He moves for 15 million euros. All cut price deals these will be, to join Juventus. He moves to Italy to sort of see out probably the latter stages of his career. He's 34 years of age, but what a big miss he is to this Manchester City side. And it really doesn't stop there, because Antonio Nusa, there's just no room for non-homegrown players, really. Our homegrown quota increased to 10. So Antonio moves for around 45 million euros. He makes the move to Italy with Milan. Very exciting player. I've really enjoyed him in this season, in this series. But no, he is gone. He can't fit in the squad. And these are just the smaller moves. Trust me, these are just the smaller players that we're losing here. Reinhard Nuri, he makes a 40 to 50 million euro move to Barcelona. One of the best left backs in world football in this series he's become. But he has to leave the club. Barcelona take him on a cut price deal away from us, increasing that money as those fines we have to pay via transfers being sold and so on. It doesn't stop there, because the big ones start happening now, really, because the first one of the big transfers, I mean, Nuri and Rodri are massive to lose. Mohamedou Sangare, fantastic young player, come from the side. He moves to Marseille for around 60 million euros. Again, a cut price deal considering his value. But what choice do we have with these players forcibly moving their way out of the club, and we've been forced to move them out of the club? Joško Vardiol moves in a cut price deal, 65 million euros to Paris Saint-Germain. He had a poor season for us last year, but I would have liked to keep Vardiol around. I think he would have been the Mickey van der Ven, really, of Ange Postecoglou's side. But no, Vardiol says, I've got to go. We've got to reduce the wage budget. And Vardiol moves for 65 million euros. I mean, you look at his value there, a cut price deal, but these clubs know that Manchester City are in financial ruin a little bit. Ryan Cherki leaves the club, 95 million euro move to Real Madrid. He's always wanted to play Madrid, the Frenchman. He's wanted to emulate that of Zinedine Zidane, so he gets the chance to do that. And Ryan Cherki, another massive loss, a 92 rated player leaving Manchester City. Now, we have put a ban on transfers away from homegrown players, so that means the likes of Jude Bellingham, Tino Livramento are going absolutely nowhere. Phil Foden are not allowed to leave. But this is the biggest one, the hardest hitting one. Arne Slot's Bayern Munich, they take Erling Haaland away from Manchester City. He doesn't get a move to Real Madrid. They weren't interested in it. Instead, Bayern take him back to the Bundesliga. A cut price deal of 175 million euros. I still think he's massive. I mean, when you look at his value, really, 95 rated, 30 years of age, at the latter stage of his career, Erling Haaland. But the goals that he scores, the impact he has, the influence on the team, the experience he has, to lose him, to lose Rodri, to lose Cherki, to lose Aït-Nouri, to lose Sangare, who is sort of maybe the Erling Haaland replacement. He's gone as well. Joško Vardiol leaving as well, our highest rated centre-back. This City side have been absolutely decimated by these Premier League restrictions, these Premier League charges that really have crushed this side. And that means big changes. And a big change is coming in terms of our squad now. So some players that we might not know pretty well, but have been part of the squad maybe for quite a lot of the series, been out on loan and so on. First one is Aidan Stokes, who is going to be part of the first team this season. He is a USA international. He actually was born in the UK, so he counts as a homegrown player, integral for the side. Ruud Nijstadt, who has played a few little games across the series, he is now going to be part of the first team squad. He's going to be our Joško Vardiol replacement. A 90 rated player replaced by a player who is only 74 rated. And the replacements don't stop there. Nathan the Cat, 75 rated. Brought him as the Rodri replacement for the future, but now he will be the Rodri replacement right here, right now. 75 rated comes in, and he is going to have to play a big role and step up massively in his career already, only 22 years of age. And then we've got some other players, more exciting ones. Ram Pablo, 83 rated, spent the loan last season at RB Leipzig. He's an exciting player, I do believe. Great pace, great physicality, good skill. He is the sort of Nusa replacement, Ryan Cherki replacement to an extent as well, will Ram Pablo be. Michael Noonan, we said we could sell him, but no, he's going to stick around. He is the Sangare replacement, 76 rated, massive downgrade, but a homegrown striker who's had a lot of loans, brought him in very early on in this series. And the final one is the Erling Haaland replacement, the toughest replacement of this series so far. But we're going to go with 22-year-old Brazilian Del, 85 rated, spent last season on loan at Juventus, came from Bahia. Ram Pablo, they've got a good connection together, and they're going to have to bring that connection to try and hit the ground running in this Manchester City side. A big step up for these younger players who've spent many a season out on loan. So looking at the Manchester City first team, this is how it is looking now. This is how our squad is going to look like going to the season. The front three, I think, from what I can see now, is going to be captain of the club, Phil Foden. Captain of the club now, after so many years, the club age 30 years of age. He's going to play off the right-hand side. Del through the middle, and Antoine Semenyo is going to play off the left-hand side. That is going to be our starting front three for the season. The midfield three is going to be Jude Bellingham, Nico O'Reilly, and Elliot Anderson in that three. Very much the Ange tactics. We're going to play Ange ball, so the fullbacks are going to tuck into midfield, and then you're going to see the wingers sort of tuck in sometimes and stay wide. It is going to be very much Ange ball. So the fullbacks are Doggy. I mean, Ange knows him pretty well. Livramento can play either side, and that's why he's sticking around. And Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. And then Lekeba and Diamande are going to make form a defensive partnership with Verbruggen in goal. Our bench will be Aidan Stokes, Kusanov, Livramento, Nathan the Cat, Sever Naipan, Cavan Sullivan, Ryan McAdoo, Ram Pablo, and Michael Noonan. It's up to these players to try and find their way into the side as well. Now, of course, our squad has been limited to just 21 players for the season. And you start with 11 players on the pitch. You've got 9 players on the bench. You're already at 20 there, aren't you? Which is crazy. So then you've got one single player in the reserves, or 2 players in the reserves. So that means we've had to move on to players. I mean, like Jason Steele, the goalkeeper, third choice goalkeeper, he's had to move on. And we need 10 homegrown players in our squad. So Phil Foden is one of the homegrown players. Anderson is 2. O'Reilly is 3. Bellingham is 4. Trent is 5. And then you've got Noonan 6. McAdoo 7. Livramento 8. Stokes is 9. And I think that Ruud Nijstad obviously is not on there. Sever Naipan has been a lot of time in our youth system. Cavan Sullivan arrived at the club very young as well. Because Naipan played in the youth system for a certain age, he counts as a homegrown player as well. And that will... Oh, sorry, not Sever Naipan. Antoine Semenyo. So Semenyo, Foden, Bellingham, O'Reilly, Anderson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Noonan, McAdoo, Livramento and Stokes are our 10 homegrown players for this season. Very important. We put a complete ban on homegrown players leaving the club. I mean, with these problems that we've had with the club, of course, you'd expect someone like Jude Bellingham to want to leave. Maybe Phil Foden wants to leave despite being his bio club. And others as well. Semenyo, unbelievable footballer. Livramento, but no homegrown players were allowed to leave. And like I said, we will play Ange ball with this system. So what's going to happen is Foden's going to drift inside at times and play the sort of Heung-min Son role, or Semenyo will. Foden the Kulusevski more so role. Anderson and Bellingham are going to be very sort of creative midfielders in there. O'Reilly the holding role, but not so much a defensive midfield player particularly. And then you go into sort of the fullback areas. Trent and Udogie are going to play very, very high. They're going to play at times alongside Dell and go up into the pockets. That is something that really did stand out in Ange Postecoglou's Spurs. He's not really so much of a tactical mind, just someone that gets behind his players. But I'm very excited for this series. I actually think we could play better football in this season than we have throughout the whole series. I genuinely do believe there is a possibility with that because of these players. I'm excited to see the likes of Ram Pablo, Dell, I mean, Noonan, Sullivan more, maybe Nathan the Cat, Naipan, McAdoo, some of the younger players that we signed quite a while ago in the career mode, not got the chance, now we're going to get it in this Manchester City side. So with the City side changing, we're going to look obviously at now, to end the episode, what we have done. So what we have actually completed in terms of these regulations that we have to complete. So we'll start things off with the transfer ban. That's pretty easy. A 4-window transfer ban, January and summer. We can't sign players for the full of this ending of the season, and we won't sign anyone. So that is ticked off the checklist. We've done that one. The points deduction, a 20 points production on last season's finish. We don't start at minus 20 for this season. It's minus 20 from last season. That can be ticked off the list as well. We have done that one, and that is great because that has already been ticked off. We will be in the Europa League this season. No Champions League football for this final season. The penalty fine, well, £500 million fine to be paid. We have to pay 250 before the 1st of September. Because of the revenue over previous seasons, I mean, we sold players for big, big money. Vinicius Jr. for €300 million. I mean, the players that we sold fantastically well over the season. Reinders for, I think he sold for over 100. Omar Mamouche. We can pay that from our budget straight away. So we've paid the 250 before the 1st of September. We've actually paid the full 500 straight away. So that is ticked off on the list as well. 3 completed already in this episode, and we're going to complete them all. The PSR requirements, we must be paid via transfer fees, 250 million. Well, the sales of Erling Haaland, 175 million. Ryan Cherki, Rodri, Ait Nuri, Nusa, Sangare, and a few others as well that you've seen happen. Joshko Vardiol. We have completed the PSR requirements to be enforced on us and actually paid the fine as well with that. Over 250 million in squad fees paid. We did really well in terms of that one. The wage cap. So our current wage bill after last season, at the end of this last season, was 285 million per season. We wanted to bring that down to 100 million. That has been done with the sales of Erling Haaland. Now, of course, you talk about the squad fine. We paid the 250 million very easily, actually. I mean, just one sale of Haaland and Vardiol, 2 sales covered that 250 million. But what really did crush us in keeping those players around who wanted to leave the club anyway, we couldn't convince them to stay because of that wage cap. The wage cap, we've got Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, Antoine Semenyo as your 3 players on quite a lot of money. Everyone else is on sort of very modest wages. The others weren't. I mean, Ait Nuri wasn't on great big wages, but Erling Haaland, massive wages. Joshko Vardiol, Rodri, some of our highest paid players. They have left the club. We have brought the wage cap down to under 100 million, which is fantastic. Very difficult to do. But with those big departures, Ryan Cherki as well, we have brought that down, that wage cap. And that is why those big players had to leave. Another tick off our checklist. Then the squad limit. Well, he said the squad limit is down from 25 to 21 this season. We've just ran through the squad. I mean, it's like we've only got we've got 3 fullbacks. Livramento will cover the right and left this season. Only 2 goalkeepers in Stokes and Verbruggen. That might cause problems if there's any injuries in the goalkeeper situation. But yeah, the squad limit reduced from 25 to 21. Another tick off the list there. The increased quota, the increased homegrown quota from 8 to 10. Another one that we have completed because, of course, we've just gone through the 10 players in the squad. The likes of McAdoo, Semenyo, Foden, Haaland, Haaland, Bellingham, Anderson. These players, we've got 10 homegrown players in a 21-man squad. I mean, that is massive. It's massively difficult to do because if you think about it, we've got 10 of the 21 players, only 11 are non-homegrown. And then finally, contract termination of all non-playing staff contracts, of course. All our assistant left the club. Everyone left the club. The manager had to leave the club. The board left the club. Hugo Viana, our sporting director, left the club. They all left Manchester City. We lost our manager. We lost all the staff. And they have been replaced by, of course, the new man, Ange Postecoglou. Another tick off on there. So they are all the requirements confirmed. All the, big enforcements on us, transfer bans and so on that we've been given. We've completed them all just before the season starts. This is going to be the most difficult and competitive season we've ever played. And it is also confirmed there will be no more. This is the final season of this series. Please like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Please let us know in the comments down below how you feel about this series. What do you think about with all these problems? Can we achieve anything? And then finally, you want to join the We Are City Members Club to see these videos extended and early. Find out what's happening quicker than anyone else. We'll see you guys next time.